I want to continue reading
Well,
that section. Do you want me to keep it? You do?
yeah, well,
Okay. So,
you can take your time with it, you know?
okay, good. Now, this is the foreword to the first edition. So imagine the red book. This was the part in there that this is the intro to that red book that they put out in 1939, sitting on the shelf at Sears Roebuck Company, and that was where you used to buy them.
And it was red.
Yeah, red book. Now they're blue. But
Is there a reason for that?
I have no idea.
No?
No.
I wonder.
So we're going to read the foreword to the first edition. When you see that it's italicized, that means it's giving you clear-cut direction when you see that. So pay attention. We of Alcoholics Anonymous are more than 100 men and women who have recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of body and mind. To show other alcoholics precisely how we have recovered is the main purpose of this book.
To show other alcoholics and addicts how we recovered?
Yeah,
That's
that's
the main
right.
purpose of the book.
That's the purpose. So let me stop right there and say 100 men and women. It's really, in the beginning, it was 99 men and 1 woman.
Wow.
Okay? And they wrote this book. And at the time, there was nothing like it. So this was a big deal. They had the answer. Where for thousands of years, for as long as men have been crushing grapes, they did not have the answer on how to stop drinking.
They used to lobotomize us, right?
Right. So now, thank God, there is a solution. So this is, in that instance, this is the first time when they tell you the purpose of this book. Okay. We think this account of our experiences will help everyone to better understand the alcoholic, because many do not comprehend that the alcoholic is a very sick person. And besides, we are all sure that our way of living has its advantages for all. It's important that we remain anonymous because we are too few at present to handle the overwhelming number of personal appeals which may result from this publication. Being mostly business and professional folk, we could not well carry on our occupation in such an event. And we would like it understood that our alcoholic work is an avocation. So let me go back through that and kind of talk about that. So
I love my sister, guys. She's amazing.
In the beginning, there weren't very many members. There was only 1 woman.
Doug. 1 woman.
1 woman, 99 men. Most of them blue-collar folks, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And professionals. So he was the doctor that had just operated.
Yeah, right.
And so forth. So they couldn't really come out and say, hey, I'm an alcoholic, and still keep their jobs.
The doctor's opinion, he received help for it down the road, right?
Right.
Right.
So, so what happened when it got, initially, when we read later on in the stories, when it blew up, all these letters came in, pouring into this office, and there's like one little secretary gal trying to get all this taken care of.
They're saying hey to you.
Hey. Is this Discord?
No, this is YouTube Live.
YouTube Live. All right. So, and we know, I can't very well, if you're a lawyer, you can't go in and tell people that the
right.
things that you, yeah.
Your credibility,
can't talk
then, right?
about that, really, yeah.
Then people judge you.
So we decided, let's be anonymous, and that's the most important thing. At the time, it was. When writing or speaking publicly about alcoholism, we urge our fellowship to omit his personal name, distinguishing himself as a member of Alcoholics Anonymous, and that's anonymity. The reason is, what if Charlie Sheen becomes our representative, and Charlie Sheen has a terrible relapse, and something bad happens, someone dies.
Right.
That looks.
Then it's like the whole system looks messed up.
Yeah. So that's just one thing. We don't put anybody. There's no one spokesperson or anything like that, because we don't do it like that.
Yeah, 100%.
So you can say your first name, and you could even say your last name in a meeting, but just not outside of the meeting. Very earnestly, we ask the press also to observe this request, for otherwise we shall be greatly handicapped. We are not an organization in the conventional sense of the word. There are no fees or dues whatsoever, because my dues have already been paid, and I know yours have already been paid too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I hope so.
Yeah. The only requirement, tradition 3, is that there is an honest desire
I'll do that.
to stop drinking. That's the only requirement for being a member. An honest desire.
She was reading some stuff to me, guys, and some pretty interesting things, you know. And it's true. A human being can alter his life by altering their attitude. I believe in that 100%.
Absolutely.
You know, I can look at my past and be like, oh, I've had all this shit happen to me. But I'm looking at it as like an experience that I know that I don't want to go down, and I don't want no one to experience that either. I don't wish
These
it on
those are stepping
anybody.
stones, bro.
Yeah.
And stepping stones.
Whatever you focus on increases. So whether it's
Mhm.
good or bad. So what I've been doing to help me stay off of that in my mind is throwing myself into helping people. So that's so true. Nothing but my own pride and fear can keep me from my dwelling place
With God.
with God. We stay sober with action. That's true. And, you know, whether you pray or not, if you believe in something, you just don't know what, it doesn't matter, you know. I get it. But prayer is talking to your higher power as a friend, you know, and I didn't do that for a long time. And I still have struggles with stuff, but I do believe in a higher power. And you know,
if
anger.
you really believe in the higher power,
I do,
would do
100%.
what we know he would, if we really had faith,
Right.
that he would come through for us.
They said if we had enough faith as a mustard seed, we could
You know,
cast a
imagine
mountain
if
into the
we
ocean.
had the faith. Imagine what he would do for us.
You know that,
Do you want me to finish reading this?
yeah, right after this
Okay,
one.
okay.
Anger is one letter away from danger.
Yes. Yes.
Woo! Keep it, what,
Okay.
stupid simple, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Keep it simple, sweetie. So, we are not allied with any particular faith, sect, or denomination, nor do we oppose anyone. We simply wish to be helpful for those who are afflicted. We're interested to hear from those who are getting great results from this book, and particularly those who have commenced to working with other alcoholics. We should like to be helpful in such cases. Inquiry by science, medical, and religious societies will be welcomed, as written in 1939. In that one, so, and actually in Tradition 3, it says the only requirement is a desire to stop drinking. It doesn't say honest. Okay? It says it here, but not
You guys
really.
hear that?
Okay?
Say that again.
The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. Although the book says it's there are no dues or fees to pay whatsoever. The only requirement is an honest desire. But when I go to the 12 Traditions book and look that up, the word honest isn't there. We're tricky like that.
Yeah. Little loopholes and shit, right?
Yep. So we're just reading. We just finished up the forward to the first edition, and there are 2 more.
We went to a meeting today. It was great. I didn't know they were having them, but now we know, and it was slammed full. So, and as soon as we got in there, me and my sister were like about in tears, you know, heard exactly what we needed to hear. This thing that just keeps popping in my head is the desire. I wanted it this time, you know. I didn't know if I could do it, but I know I wanted it.
Yeah.
So
I'm just gonna pray for faith, stronger faith, because if I could just believe, like I know it's in there.
Yeah.
That he loves me,
Yeah.
and he loves you, and I know it in my heart. I've always known, but he wants better for us, and we deserve better.
Yeah.
So I had some sobriety before, 10 years, and I relapsed. 10 years without a drink, without a drug, without anything, and God showed up. Okay, and it was only through my lack of willingness to continue to work the program. I got lackadaisical and shit about by my past and the resting on my laurels and the things that I had done. It doesn't matter what you did 6 months ago in this program. And I stopped going to the meetings, stopped sponsoring people, and I started wanting to hang out with normies, and I started to want to be like them. And I thought maybe after 10 years, I'm qualified. Maybe I can drink and just do a little something with the coworkers, right? It's okay.
Yeah. It's snowballed effect, isn't it? Slowly.
I lost everything I worked so hard for in 10 years. In 10 years was a lot. And it's taken me a while to kind of process that stuff. You don't get over it, but you can, you start away. So I've had to do that in my recovery. And I stayed out for almost 3 years with unspeakable godly acts on a daily that I can't talk
Yeah.
about, right?
Right.
But you guys know what I'm talking about. It took me 2.5, 3 years. No matter what I did, I just couldn't get honest. Couldn't get honest. But,
Do you agree and think every time you go out, it gets harder?
well, it just depends.
At
I just
all?
know that every time, it may not that day.
Right.
Something bad is going to happen. If not that day,
That's all it shit
soon
leads
thereafter.
to. All it
Because
leads to, jails, institutions, and death.
that's
Everything
it.
negative in my life that's ever happened
I had a
was
lot of
because
good
of drugs
memories
and alcohol.
about drugs and alcohol, guys.
Yeah.
Good memories. Good, great memories. I love me some drugs and alcohol, right? But it's the consequences that I cannot handle. It hurt too bad. And so
Then you get angry, and being anger, even if you're sober, what is it? Is emotional drunkenness?
emotional drunkenness, yep. For me, yeah.
Yeah, no, I get angry. It alters everything. Then I start thinking crazy, thinking I'll go get a beer.
Yeah.
You know, no,
I'm going to drink at that person. And really doing is hurting ourselves.
Resentment. Check this out. Yeah. Resentment is me waiting to get sober and waiting for the other guy to die. Resentment is me waiting to get sober and for the other guy to die. That's crazy. That's deep.
It takes what it takes. I don't know. I'm just, like you said, I do have a desire. It is an honest desire. I can be honest about my addiction. It was cool at a point, not the addiction itself, but my lifestyle, until it just wasn't cool anymore. And when I couldn't function in normal society, I needed some help, and really the people in AA really helped me. I asked, what is wrong with me?
What I've noticed about with this YouTube and with the meetings, and that's why I wrote it down, sis, is like, you know, there's no strangers here or in those rooms, just friends we haven't met yet, man. You're not alone. You obviously see we're not alone. Even when your brain, and you'll tell yourself I'm by myself, you're not. So just know that. And whatever it fucking takes, man, because it's going to kill me. I don't want to die. So, okay. Oh, man.
So, yeah, people were placing bets on me about how soon I was going to relapse when I first got sober.
Really?
Because I was on a pink cloud. I was on a pink cloud.
A lot of people hate on that.
High. I love it. I love my pink cloud.
I love it too.
Just like Derek says, just keep scratching.
Just keep scratching.
Okay.
That's what Derek said. Does he?
He does. Yeah, you just keep scratching. Nobody can take your pink cloud.
Wow.
But life goes, as you know, life goes on, and shit gets monotonous. And unless we are doing the program of action, we don't stay sober on the grace of God. There's action that we have to follow. And if we don't, we're risking relapse, and it's serious and it's life-threatening. I don't know. It happened to me.
Truth and faith in our readiness, and a humble guess give us courage, so that when fear knocks, no one's home. I like that.
Yeah, I tried to do this program without God, right? On intellect alone.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't work. Doesn't work. No.
And I don't have problems with God. But after a while, I just kind of kept him out of it, and my priorities are a little.
What was it you said? With like alcoholism, even with the alcohol's
Take
out of
away
the
alcohol, and you still got the ism.
Still got the ism. There's still something wrong. Drugs isn't really necessarily the problem. I mean, they are, but the problem's inside of me, I feel like. So even with the drugs and the alcohol, I always would say, you know, I don't seem like things don't feel better, and you know, it takes time. But I still have fucking issues. Ever since, you know, you think you get off drugs, you get clean, everything's gonna fall into place, and life's gonna be good and dandy. It's not. It's hard. But if you put in the work and you keep scratching, you get that. What is it you said? Why settle?
Why settle for relief?
Why settle for relief?
When what you really want is freedom.
When what you really want is freedom.
Every time I wanted relief, I really, really wanted that relief. I knew where to get it. But that's not really what I wanted. It's not really, I want freedom from this addiction. I want that. And that's the goal.
Wow, man. My life is now marked by a series of surrenders. That's so true. By a series of surrenders. What I surrender? Everything.
Yep.
Everything. And I don't want to get too headstrong. I don't know it all. So that's why I got to not just study this text, but practice it. And I don't always feel like doing that, but I know I have to.
But we do it in group. We do it in twos. We need each other.
Yeah, man, you got it.
So Kurt and I got a plan. We got a list. 1, 2, 3. This is what we're doing on the daily, one day at a time.
Right now, I said is make my bed. I want to make my bed because if I can't take care and handle the little things in my life, how am I going to handle the big shit, right? So make my bed, say a prayer, read the daily meditation, the daily prayer, just start getting into the text because it's a lifestyle. You know what I mean? It really is. It's a lifestyle. And even at first,
Way of living.
It's a way of living. I didn't feel like doing it at first, but I'm so glad I did. My mind, my eyes, it had scales on it, and I just didn't see things clearly. What was important in my life was completely on the back burner. Priorities were jacked up. We'll just say that. And
Me too.
I'm lucky I made it out alive. So are you.
And we're hitting a meeting.
And we're hitting
Every
meetings
day.
every day.
One meeting at least. Every
One
day.
meeting. I said
In
we should be
person.
going to 2 or 3 because we're so crazy, but we're just gonna hit one as soon as she gets off work.
Yep. Hit the ground running.
So, but even still, now with you, everything that you say you lost in 10 years, man, you got it back.
You know? So, yeah, I have.
You worked, you did.
I damaged some relationships that
Yeah.
cannot be mended. I guess they can. They were. Yeah, but
Just so difficult. And
it was so heartbreaking because you guys, I worked so hard.
Mm.
I had no life skills when I came into the program, and I ended up paralegaling, getting a degree, and working for a law firm, building that law firm up to be a really successful firm.
You guys
And
hearing
then
this?
Pulling it all on top of my head. I just the whole just snowballed. Within 9 months, I had spent 10 years building that business, and within 9 months, I was no longer a director of the firm. Okay, and it was just me and the boss, and we built that firm, and we built that team, and I loved it so much that they said, whatever you put first is the thing you will lose first.
Mm.
And I put my job first.
You okay? I know. It's okay.
Because I loved it. I wanted to do my boss right, and I was proud of even the work I was doing for my, I wanted my kids to be proud of me. But I spent too much time at work. I wouldn't go to the meetings. And I got an ego. I thought I was well. And I lost that thing that I put first. And I loved it so much. But just recently, you guys, I did end up getting fired from that job. And a couple years went by. I was using the entire time. My old boss, my mentor, this man that I had harmed in my use, he called me up and to let me know there was a position available if I'm interested in it. And my heart
Went out to him. Didn't it?
oh my gosh, I
Because
couldn't believe it.
She's so badass.
I
Where she
prayed.
worked, that firm, within the year from her working there, organizing and doing it all there in that office, was it was the top.
It was the second fastest
Second
growing
fastest
law firm
growing
in the
law
United
firm in the
States
United
in
States.
2017.
So, and like she just said, she had no life skills coming into the program.
No. My sponsor encouraged me to go to school. My sponsor and I sat down and did the big book. She taught me all the funny words and that mean different things.
This is fire,
She
sis.
built me up in that year and built me up, and it was just amazing what she did.
Wow.
And all she did was make herself available every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. and I showed up.
You know what she said to me? The most valuable thing I can give to somebody is my time. And I'm thinking, damn, that's how I feel because I don't have shit to give to anybody. I don't have nothing but time.
So the people in the program really have helped me so much.
It's
It's where it's at. It's what it's about. I don't want
Yeah.
to do this alone.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that if you don't go to meetings, you can't do it, because some people have, but it doesn't work for me that way. I have to hit rooms. I have to hit meetings. I got to work the steps. And I'm taking advice this time, I got to do it differently, because how Kurt thought he did it before and it was going to work, it never fucking worked out, man. I always had a plan and it never panned out ever. And it just led me down even worse, darker roads that I never thought I'd go down. I wasn't a good person, but
Well, no,
that's
you were a
neither-
good person. Just
I was
just doing a
sick.
bad thing.
I was
that's all.
sick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I know. So you guys, I'm gonna keep reading because Kurt and I think I'm gonna go to 3. And are you following still? You good? You
Yeah,
good?
yeah.
Sometimes newcomers can only handle like
Oh,
a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. But go ahead. We're
You
listening.
sure?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Forward to the second edition. Okay.
Mm.
Figures given to this forward describe the fellowship as it was in 1955. So at this printing, this is when they took out the old stories, put in the new ones. This was a new edition, the back of the book there. Since the original forward to this book was written in 1939, a wholesale miracle has taken place. And that's the hand of God. Our earliest printing voiced the hope that every alcoholic who journeys will find the fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous at his destination. Already continues the early text of 2s and 3s and 5s that sprung up in other communities. It was a miracle.